G'day everyone, welcome back to the late afternoon glass off. As always, my name's Finn. I'm joined here by my good friend Zach Whiteman.
Hello.
How are you, Zachary?
I'm good.
Going good?
I'm actually trying to contain my excitement. I've been wanting to do this episode for probably about a week, ever since we last recorded, for a number of reasons.
Yes, name them. What are they?
One big thing, which I think we teased in our last episode, we have some new equipment coming.
Yep.
Now, if anyone in the YouTube versus watching, you hopefully picked it up by now, but we got booms, son.
We got booms. We did put it out there for people to guess last week.
Yep.
Don't worry about it because we're pretty excited about them. We actually look a little bit more respectable as a podcast right now, so we're very happy about it.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
You know when you're a kid and you get your first sponsor, you just look a little bit more official, or you look a little bit more elevated.
For sure.
I feel like we're fucking booms is like we're pretty much I don't know, taking down the big guns in the podcasting kind of world.
Yeah, mate, we're just climbing the ladder, and another way that this ladder's been being climbed, or two ways. 2,000 followers. Thank you, everyone. It's been amazing. We're so frothing on it.
Yeah, I can't believe how slow we went from 0 to 500.
Yeah.
And then 500 to 1,000 was pretty slow. I feel like 1,000 to 2,000 where we are now felt like overnight.
Yeah. And
pretty crazy.
And obviously, we got a couple of celebrations, but first one, we are doing this draw after the podcast. So
our giveaway.
So obviously, if you're following us, you're in the running. You will already know the result of this by the time this podcast comes out, so don't worry about it. But yeah, you're all in the running, and yeah, we're going to do that after the pod. We'll put it on our socials, so just keep an eye on that, just on our Instagram and probably our TikTok too. And then the third thing, though, which has come quite at a timely time.
Perfect timing to celebrate 2,000 followers on the gram.
We've got a little partnership to announce. Hughie's jumping on board.
Yeah.
Which we're very happy with, aren't we, Zach?
Yeah, so it's a funny story about, Hughie's and my story with Hughie's.
Run us through this. This is a good one. Run us through this one.
It was about far out. It would have been about 4 years ago, I feel, where I just went and had dinner at Conor O'Leary's house. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh, you want a beer?" And I was like, he's the Pope Catholic. Get me a beer. And he's like, "Oh, I've got these fucking beers that have the best cans." Yeah. And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, in my head, I'm like, can. Like, it's a can. It's an aluminium can. It can't be anything else.
Yeah.
And he showed me, and it was, it wasn't exactly this one, but this is for our YouTube people out there. This is kind of like their look and feel of the can, and it's unbelievable. Ever since I've come across Yuli's brews, you go into the bottle shop, and I feel like they stand out.
It's kind of like your classic, authentic, Aussie cartoon, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sick.
And they've all got Aussie names.
Yes. Well, and in the Connor episode that we did, which has been our best by far, thanks everyone that's tuned into that one.
Yeah, big thanks.
We're actually drinking Yuli's in that.
The sea bass.
The sea bass. So
sorry to cut you off. Back to my story. I was like, he's like, "Oh yeah, I bought these beers. They're so sick. They taste good." And that was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then as we had Connor on the podcast, I was like, as a bit of an ode to that memory, I'm going to get a 6-pack of Yuli's sea bass, because I know he likes the sea bass and I like the sea bass. And we slurped on a couple throughout that 2-hour conversation. And the funny thing was, the guys at Yuli's reached out and they said, "Hey, look, we want to support you guys, give you guys some beers." They've been absolutely great to deal with. So big thanks to the guys at Yuli's. And I said, "Oh yeah, did you see that where we were drinking them on the Connor podcast?" And he's like, "Nah, because he was listening on Spotify."
Right.
He had no idea. And I said, "Mate, we were smacking Yuli's on the Connor podcast." He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he was frothing, I was frothing. Now we get to drink beers and yarn together, Finley. So in order of that, hit the 2,000 followers. We've got fucking booms. We've got a beer partnership. I've got a half stiffy going on right now, to be honest. So good time to be alive. Big thank you to everyone. This is why it's really important for you guys. If you can do us a big favor, go out there and follow us on all the platforms. The more we grow in that space, the more we can do things like this, and it supports us. And the guys at Yuli's are already talking giveaways, so it goes to show the more love and support we get, the more support we can give back to you guys. So it's kind of a, what's it called? Symbiotic relationship, we'll call it.
Yeah, no, it's a win-win for everyone. So we're frothing. Thanks again, Yuli's.
Cheers.
Thanks for believing in us. So
cheers, mate. And a big well done to you.
Absolutely.
Finley does a lot of the hard work behind the scenes. So I want to give this moment to Finley.
Oh, thanks.
He does all the editing. He stays up until 4 a.m., doesn't sleep, does all the nitty-gritty behind the scenes. That podcasting's not digging holes, but there is a bit to it behind the scenes. And to all the podcasters out there, well done. But especially you, Finley, good on you, my sir.
Well, and we've recently, I just discovered I've actually got podcasting hands because I went and played golf at the range the other day. I just went and shot some balls, and I've got an ungodly blister on my hand. And
so you're not made for the shovel.
No, I'm definitely not made for the shovel.
I'm not made for the
I'm
shovel
not even
either.
made for a golf club. So there's that. But yeah, thanks Yuli's. Now, moving on, we got it was gonna be a slow news week. It felt like this week, and
I was worried. There was a part. It was probably only like 3 days ago where I was like, "Oh God, like what are we actually?"
Not much going on. But then, just out of the blue today, my surfer of the week, Hughie Vaughan. Now, Zach's been having a little bit of a sabbatical off Instagram. He's taken himself off it. He's doing some soul searching and
temporarily.
He's
It's a bit of backstory on that. I'm still around, so don't worry. It's not like I contribute too much on my personal side. I post probably quarterly.
Yeah.
But I found myself. I'm proud of my morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
Proud. I get up early.
Yeah.
I stretch. I have a coffee. 60 minutes after I've got all my Andrew Huberman shit fucking locked in. I found myself on the weekend of all days, not even a school night. I woke up at 5 a.m. and on 5:01. I was on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I went, naughty boy, I'm getting rid of it. So I deleted the app for a bit. So I'll be around. But yes, sorry to catch everyone back up. That's why I've temporarily gone on sabbatical of Instagram.
He will be back. Now, surfer of the week, Hughie Vaughan, because Zach hasn't been on Instagram, he hasn't actually seen this yet. So I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to have Zach watch it in live action. I've screen recorded it and I've airdropped it to him.
Let's have a look.
I'll play it at the same time. I'll try and link it up.
I've got it here and it's in my grid of photos, so I can only see him doing a bottom turn.
All right, have a go. Press play.
Okay. Pressing play. Okay, it's on the right. Oh, that's fucked. What grab was that? He sliced his fingers off.
It's a stale backflip.
Is that a stale? It's a tail grab.
Stale backflip. Crazy.
Huh?
So, for the viewers out there, stale fish
It is a stale. Oh my God, it's like a half stale, half tail grab. Like it's so far back. I'm just paused it. I think he's got like a Sunbum sticker and a Creatures sticker. I didn't even know fucking Creatures was still around, but anyway. Grabs down there. That is wild. So clean.
Now, straight off the press, best air ever done.
Yep.
I think it is. I don't even think there's... I challenge you to find me one better, and I think you'd have a very, very tough time finding.
That angle is new. I think that's the excitement around... Well, you've told me there's a lot of excitement online. You said Tony Hawk commented on it?
Tony Hawk has named it.
He named... What the fuck did he name it?
There's like a stale fish...
Why? What?
Flipper.
Stay in your lane, bro.
I don't know. I don't know. It's called...
Stay in your lane. I know he's a goat.
He called it a flipper.
That's why you stay in your lane.
But
that sounds horrible. Sounds like a fucking burger joint or something. Walking to Flippers. Actually, it sounds like Flipper and La Parka, that old cartoon show.
Can't say I've seen that.
Oh, I used to stay home and be sick and just listen to it. It'd be like 11 o'clock when all the kids are at school.
Right.
Graveyard shift for cartoons. Sorry, I just went off on a rant. I am baffled.
It's baffling, isn't it? So for those at home, stalefish is your back arm. Is your backhand?
Is that an underflip? I think this is an underflip.
I don't know, dude. It's insane. So backhand, grabbing the sort of outside rail of your surfboard, and then in this particular case, he's doing a backflip. So you kind of put your backhand back around the tail area, and then he's done a backflip. If you're at home, even if you're just sitting down, stand up and just try and get yourself in a position like that on dry land. And then once you've done that, try and imagine yourself doing it on a surfboard, even doing a straight air, and then to do it on a backflip is just insanity. And he greases the thing. There's no bobbles. It's just the cleanest landing you'll see. It's high. It's fast. I mean, it's insanity. It's the best air I've done. Chipper Wilson's come out and said it. He's obviously far more qualified.
Matt Miola agreed with Chipper.
There you go. Far more qualified than you or I to talk on that. But from what, like, we've watched a lot of surfing between us, and
Chipper. Quick question.
Yes.
Sidetrack. Is he related to Philippe Toledo? They fucking look the same. Think about it. Conspiracy.
they've got similar, like, sort of like dark eyes, like dark sort of like long eyelashes,
They
and
look like snake eyes.
yeah,
Same tattoo get up. Same like head shape.
yeah.
I'm
I
telling
can
you.
see it. I can see where
Brother
you're at.
from another mother.
Chipper's obviously follically deprived. He doesn't have much hair going on.
Oh,
Philippe's got it.
follically. I heard deprived, and my brain went to eating for some reason.
Yeah, well,
We won't go there.
he is without hair, so there's that. But I can see where you're at with the dark
Yeah, it
eyes.
looks the
But
same.
Huey Vaughan, bravo, sir. That was incredible. And
Yes, my friend, that was insane.
yeah, across the board, best air ever done.
And that's, might I add, one stab high by
Yeah,
doing a crazy punt. And then that was only like 3 weeks ago.
He's having a blinder, bro. He's on one right now.
That is impressive shit. Well done, Huey. We'll have to get him onto the pod to talk about it and show us how to do that on the
Yes.
yoga mat.
Come on, Huey, please. Swatch Nines, though, Zach. So this is obviously an event going on now where he just obviously
Yeah,
did
that's
this
where
punt.
he did this. Are you familiar with Swatch Nines?
I'm not overly. I know this is more your area. I'm more compy. You're more sort of. You're compy too, but you're more of the. You like the action side of it all, the action sports side, free surfy side. Give myself and the audience a rundown of what the Swatch Nines is and what's been going on there.
Yeah, so I've been around Swatch Nines for a while now because I love snowboarding.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I'm snowboarding, I don't think about surfing. Unfortunately, I'm not quite the snowboarder. I can get down the mountain just fine and do some light stuff.
You're pretty good. You're better than me. That's for sure.
Thank you.
It's also not hard to be
I don't
better
know how
than me.
to take compliments. I don't think Australians
Your
do
dog's
anyway.
probably better than me, but go on.
So yeah, they've been in snow for a long time. They were previously known as the Audi Nines.
Yep.
And what they do every year, it's a comp that's not a comp, and it's built around innovation. It's all about trying to bring an innovative way to jumps and different types of jumps, and it's almost like artwork.
Yeah.
We can put up on the screen now of what the event looks like in the snow world. It's crazy. Like, they go to this part of the mountain where no one else goes. It's like a big flat bit at the bottom of a hill, so you can get speed, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's just like art. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a castle or something like that.
It's almost like a festival of the sport that they're choosing.
100%. And it's funny that you say festival, because at the end of it, it's a big piss up.
There you go.
I love it. I think that's the camaraderie that all these extreme sports need. And it's in mountain biking.
Yep.
And the best part about these events is they make the best after movie. It's high quality, cinematic, sick tunes. Kind of we call them like the roundup clip.
Yeah, it was just like action packed, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just no dead spots. It's just bang, bang, bang.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They're like 20 minutes as well. They're not like a 3-minute blaster.
Yeah.
So, I've been around it because I also enjoy mountain biking, and there was a recent one overseas that I urge everyone to go watch. It's just sick. And it's like, they do so good that, like, even if you weren't into snowboarding or mountain biking, you'd watch it and go, that was sick.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that it's in surfing. It's the second year, and I think Coco Ho's kind of in charge. She's the driver of this.
Really?
Seeing that she was one of the first to be sponsored by Swatch in surfing. So really excited that this has come into surfing. I think it's that fresh take that surfing probably needs. And the surfing aspect, it's not actually all in the water. They've got floating half pipes, burning ring of fire, like a crazy LED circle that they're trying to flip through. Crazy footage out of today, which is probably there yesterday.
Yeah.
Over there in Texas, of Chipper trying to jump. Well, when I say jump, he's air reversing or straight airing through a big hula hoop looking thing that's LED, and he hits it so bloody hard. Like, and he says after it, like, that hurt.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few little cuts and bruises through the squad there. I just love that. It's like a porpoise or a dolphin jumping through the fucking the rings
like
at
a
SeaWorld.
show. Yeah.
But it's a huge LED screen at night, and they're trying to do, crazy airs that would be noticeable without this big fuck off LED circle.
Yeah.
And they're trying to jump through it. There's a floating half pipe with rails attached on the bottom so that a skater or a BMXer can be doing what they're doing on the half pipe while a surfer is trying to board slide.
Yeah.
Mate, it's
almost like a circus, right? There's just stuff going on.
It's like
everywhere.
a circus, 100%.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone today about it. That's how, like, it sounds stupid. Like, my dad's probably going to watch that and go, wow, what the fuck is this shit? I want to see some Ethan Ewan fucking calves. Like, and I get that.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see that.
Yeah.
But at some point, it needs to change. It can't stay the same forever. And this is probably it.
There's room for both, I think. There's plenty of room out there for both. WSL does a great job with their competition side of things, but there's so much room for sort of concepts like this to come into it, and
100%.
And there's a massive space there. So I've been seeing a lot of the highlights being posted on Instagram. Obviously, you've been away, but you have some idea of this. I'm not overly sort of informed on the Swatch Nines, so it's been cool. I've seen some people doing, like you said, board slides, which
first evers.
Yeah, like questionable. Like with surfing as well, they're not necessarily boards aren't designed to last that well, especially for these guys. Yeah. Do you reckon there's like some form of like set up on the bottom to prevent boards just snapping? Like, do you reckon they've got
not at this point? No. So there's one person who doesn't like these events, and it's their board shapers because they're putting their boards onto wooden objects. I would guess they're wood, and they've probably got wax on them to help them slide.
Yeah. You'd be creasing one every attempt, really.
There's no doubt that there is damage in the way of a ding or a crack every time they're trying to do a board slide.
Yeah.
But someone's out there who's an entrepreneur is probably looking at that and going, sweet opportunity.
Let's jump in.
And I think I cast my mind back to snowboarding. Like, there's a whole free riding crew that don't do like half pipe or slope style.
Yeah.
Travis Rice, for example, used to be really good at, and he still would be, half pipe, but he's just a free rider now. So now I'm thinking, well, is this going to be surfing in 10 years? You've got your slope style park crew, and then you've got your free riders, and they live harmoniously together.
Yeah.
I'm fucking glad you're here to pick up on my mistakes.
That's mainly why I'm here.
Yeah.
But very, very good. I don't know if you touched on it, but there is supposedly a burning ring of fire getting brought out.
Yeah, they're going to try and jump through a flame, a ring that's on fire. I wasn't sure if they were just talking about like Texas, like spicy food at first.
That's right.
They just have to survive like this real gnarly like Texan beef spice mix. But no, they're going to actually try and surf. It'd be hard enough to do an air for the general public.
Yes.
Let alone through a ring that is set on fire.
Yeah, no.
And they made a good point. They're like, well, do you get burned? But you're going to be like instantly extinguished.
Yeah, but like it's not going to be you're not going to catch on fire, but you're going to probably get some pretty extensive.
I think it's going to be like a branding, like a cow.
Seriously, you end up with just marks all over you.
Yeah.
It'd be horrific. But yeah, hopefully
that's the price you got to pay.
Hopefully they just land them all, and then we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I'm sure they've all signed a waiver that's probably about 29 pages long in font 8. Sign at the bottom, boys and girls.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, we'll if any more developments happen on this side of things in the next few days, it's still got a little bit to go.
Well, this potty will go out tomorrow morning, which will be Thursday.
Yeah, we'll post some stuff on our.
It'll still be, if you're one of our early listeners, thank you, might I add. It's happening now, so get around it.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll post any crazy stuff like the Huie. Again, I run the Instagram at the moment, so I shared that clip this morning on the Instagram, and it's insane. Yeah. Any more stuff like that comes out, I'll be putting up. We'll move from that, though, into quite a different environment. So we go from sort of the top tier of free surf circusry, if that's even a word.
We might have to get that guy who sits behind Joe Rogan with his laptop.
We need a Jamie.
Yeah.
We need a little...
And he just goes...
Might need to get Scrap in here when he gets back, sit him in the corner.
We're hiring. Chief grammar person.
Officer. You don't get paid... And
but now we got beers.
You can drink as many Yuli's beers as you want while you're here.
We can pay you in beers.
So yeah, we move from just sort of the glitz and glamour of Swatch Nines to the just utter grind of the Australian, Indonesian or Asian regional QS
Australasian.
tour. Australasian is a better term there. it is really the dream tour when you think about it in terms of locations
Yeah.
they're getting to surf.
Yeah.
We'll just do a little sort of recap of what's been going on there. So Reef Hazelwood's taken out the Huie event.
No surprise there.
Not really. He's a goofy footer, which I feel like on that wave probably does help a little bit.
I've never surfed it, but it looks like one of those fool's gold waves where it's Indonesia, there's palm trees, there's cold binnies, there's chicks on the beach, but at the end of the day, when you're surfing it for 3 hours, you're probably like, is this amazing? Is this the Indonesian wave I thought of? If you had never been anywhere else in Indo,
Yeah.
it does look lackluster in a way.
It does. I've never been there too. Doesn't look like the most entertaining wave to surf. Looks almost burgery at times. I think
Plenty
it does.
of waves around it that are fucked up.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs the question, like, could you go there? But it gets a bit boring if you have to run 155 heats in just a quick barrel.
And they nearly didn't run it. I got on pretty good authority that last year the WSL kept this pretty vaulted up, but there was a guy went on a bit of a rampage with a gun last year. I don't think he shot anyone.
A real gun? Or like a BB gun?
No, like a gun.
I had to clarify because there is BB guns coming out the wazoo over there.
No, he supposedly had a real gun, and again didn't sort of shoot anyone, but went on a bit of a tear and sort of messed up a few of the accommodations there where a lot of the athletes were staying, which was quite confronting for a few of them. And there was very nearly a chance that it didn't go ahead this year because of that. There was obviously they took ages to confirm this tour this year, so there's probably
just put him on some other island for the week.
Surely you just take him to Mandiri and send him out at the beachy there. It looks incredible that way.
Beachy looks insane.
But so that happened, but the WSL never really let that one. Zach hadn't heard of it. I don't think
not
many
their
people.
good news story.
No,
Let's be real.
Definitely not.
Hey, come to our comp. It will cost you $9,000 to get in, and you might get shot.
Yeah, it's a good point. But anyway, in terms of results for this year, Reef Hazelwood wins, beats Jarvis Earl in at second place, and they were both the standouts of the entire event. No one really looked like beating either of them. They come out of that with, Reef comes out with 6,000 points. I think Jarvis probably around 4.5 mark, I'd imagine.
Interestingly, for next year's points.
Yeah, well, we had a chat about this the other day.
I think everyone is confused.
The way that they've obviously changed the tours up and blah, blah. So how this is working, this is the beginning of the Australasian qualification series. So your top 10 or so, or however many qualify from this region at the end of the year will then go into next year's Challenger series. So there's no overlap with that. You basically, they qualify this year for the Changa and then they will surf next year on the Challenger series if they qualify. Yep. Then because we've got a complete year now, it's not a mid-year cut or a sort of half-year Challenger series thing. It's a whole year. So they will then be qualified for the Changa. If they do then qualify through the Changa to the CT, it will be for 2027. Yep. So this is a start of essentially a 2-year process for these guys.
Yeah, I guess it's the parallel of two tours coming to an end. Yep. One coming to an end. So there is going to be a little teething
for sure
understanding of how the qualification is going to work.
Definitely. So it's a massive journey for these guys because they start here. They then fork out however many $1,000 it is to go and do the regional tour. And then that only grants them access to the Challenger series, which then they have to fork out another probably $50,000 next year.
And Indo's not cheap anymore.
It's not.
You can do it. If you go and stay in a rural down and, some lesser known beach, not even Ulus anymore, it's still going to be pretty expensive to get around.
For sure. No, it is. It's cheap in that you can live pretty cheaply over there, I think, in terms of food and all that. But
but half the cafes are owned by Russians or Aussies.
Well, and also, so these guys, they fly from, there's obviously Nias is an absolute nightmare to get to, which we will get to this event after. They charge, when you got to catch all these like little internal flights and to get to Nias. And to
Gunung Setuli.
Yeah, they charge you per surfboard. And I think the going rate's about $100. So
yeah, it's fucked.
You imagine these guys rocking up there. So there's 128 men or whatever there is. There's probably sort of 80 women or 60 women or so. They're all paying $100 per board.
Yeah, so everyone in Gunung Setuli's got a fucking Gucci bag next time you go there, just seriously. From the comp.
And they'd be the most well-paid
ground handlers.
Ground handlers on the planet because they're just pocketing that. There's not...
Well, they're not. The business they work for is, but
I don't know.
Someone's walking around with Gucci bags coming out their shrinkter.
I've heard that they put it in their pocket. A lot of them.
100%.
Yeah, so
Little cash deal.
100%. So,
FPOS not working. Heard that one before.
Yeah.
I've actually done that one. No, I'm
so,
kidding.
and few of the lads that I know, they've taken 6 surfboards. So that's $600 there and it's $600 back, which you probably wouldn't have.
And that's
factored
where
in.
like the classic surfer foot trick doesn't even work because they make you open it up.
Yes, yeah.
The foot trick is void.
Yeah, you can't.
Doesn't work.
What Zach's referring to is when they weigh your surfboards and
Yeah.
you put your foot underneath your board bag to take the weight off it. With this, they'll actually, it's not weight, it's not done on weight, it's just they rip your board bag open, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, you owe me $600.
On that topic, Hawaiian Airlines have only just relaxed that rule around counting surfboards.
Really?
And that's a place where you're sending like SUPs for Ironmans, you're sending 10 boards for pipe.
Yeah, there's guys taking 20 board bags.
Yeah, that's
like,
a rort.
As in like not 20 boards in one board bag, but they're taking like numerous board bags with multiple boards in it. That's
I'm just glad they've finally come out and gone, yeah, look, we're going to get rid of that.
And from all like reports that generally they get there and they're broken or like they're not the most careful with it.
Yep.
But anyway, so we move on from Huie. This is sort of into Neos, which I think really makes up for what Huie lacks in terms of wave quality. Because this joint, if you didn't see any of the highlights from last year, you got to watch it because it's pretty well as good an event as you'll ever see. Josh Kerr was surfing in it, and I remember him remarking that it's pretty well as good an event as he's ever surfed in.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Even when it's small here, or not even small, it's just like 3 to 4 foot there is still.
I'm going to try and find this one clip of last year. I remember it vividly. It's almost traumatic, Finley. I was in my office at the airport, and I had it up on the screen, and I remember watching. It was like round of like 64 pro junior women's, and they didn't get one of these waves, and they just watched like a 4-wave 8-foot set. Not one of them even swung. Yeah, just kind of let them go. And I was in my office going, I think I need to sign up. I think that's the moment where I was like, are you kidding? I'm going. Yeah. I'm doing it.
Go and put me in one of those 8-footers. Have you got the clip or have you got it saved somewhere?
Oh, I've got it saved somewhere. It was crazy. I'll try and find it.
Send it to me. Find it. I'll put it in the pod for people to watch.
And I remember this chick in the red rashy just watching this thing, and I was like, just paddle 10 meters that way and you don't have to watch. You can,
you can go be in it. You can be experiencing
it. But crazy that they got those waves last year, and it was looking like there's been days already that are close in similarity to the scale and size that they've got last year.
Probably not as pumping this year, but there has been some very, very A+ conditions. Stand out so far, really, from this event. And to your point with sort of the girls not giving it so much of a crack as you would have liked last year, one person that has been this year is Ellen McCaffrey. She actually won the event last year in emphatic style. She just blitzed the field, and she seems to be doing the exact same thing this year. She's looking really comfortable in the juice, and what I find quite impressive is that she's actually actively looking for barrels. She's not just it's not just appearing, like she's taken off and stalling from the get-go, which is cool to see.
That's the secret sauce. Anyone still in the event, if there is that opportunity, the judge is going to pay it.
Yeah, especially on the ladies' side, because
they're
they're really rewarding you going out and looking for the pits. Then onto the men's side, Ben Lawrenson. So he actually just lost to our guy Lennox Smith before, but looked very good throughout the early rounds into sort of I think it was even a round of 16 finish or a quarterfinal finish there for him. Probably the standout goofy from this event so far. Dropping scores, really good scores, mind you, in the tube and on the face as well. And probably a guy that a lot of people wouldn't have heard of unless you're right into nerding out on the queue, like I tend to find myself doing.
Like yourself?
Yeah. But yeah, very impressive from him. Then a couple of other lads. So J.L. Kalupo.
Oh, his one was skits.
That thing was nuts. Probably the dreamiest, one of the dreamier Neos waves you'll see.
Yeah.
9 points. Really just not having to work hard for his heat wins in this event. He just found himself on the best waves. Wave selection was on point.
Well, you just said it. If you're on the best waves and you can have the cojones to take a big drop and pull up and go that one direction, then And if you're natural footer, stand tall and put your hands behind your back and enjoy the ride. And if you're a goofy footer, just grab that rail and don't let go until you're in the channel.
For sure.
You're pretty well sweet.
Yeah. And similar to Jay as well, Lennox Smith just making heats with ease. Doesn't seem to be getting out of second gear just yet. And like we just said before, he's into, I believe, the quarterfinals now. I think he beat Ben in the round of 16. So already looking like a really good result for Lennox. He had a decent result at Huie too. Made a few heats there. Mm-hmm. So this is a really good showing for him, and he's going to put himself really nicely in the top 10, I imagine, coming out of the Indo leg. Mm-hmm. Did have a bit of a tough break, potentially another knee injury, but it didn't seem to hinder him too much because he still was blitzing a few in his round of 16 heat. So fingers crossed, not too serious there.
Get a bit of Tiger Balm on that shit, Leno.
Yeah, that's
Sort that shit out.
Bit of concrete, mate.
Harsh.
And then finally, and showed Zach this interview before because again,
he's under a rock.
He's under a rock. Elliot Parada-Reed,
EPR,
with possibly one of the greatest post-heat interviews I've seen.
I would call it the greatest save.
It was he saved it, but he didn't, did he? Because he just probably made it more obvious what he was referring to. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to an amazing interview, and also shout out to some really big scores, including a 9.63. Just pressure-free surfing from someone who's not really chasing qualification here. He's just lives there and spends a lot of time there.
He's hanging out.
He's just hanging out with his buddies.
Yep.
Question here though for you, Zach. If Elliot wins this, and you're sort of Elliot's style of dude and happy just sort of going with the wind wherever it takes you, are you chasing the rest of the queue after this? So you get your 6,000 points, which this is a lot of points, mind you. This isn't a QS 1,000. This is a QS 6,000, which is, I think it might even be the highest rated. I don't know if they have 10s on the QS, but
I think that's all changing though. I think they will bring an 8 or something like that.
Okay. Well, but anyway, this is maxing out the point scale. So if you get a win in a 6,000, you're very, very likely to crack into that top 10 end of year if you can string a few together. What are you doing? Are you chasing, or are you just sort of sitting there sipping bintangs in Indo?
Yeah, I think Elliot would probably share similar answer to myself if I put myself in Elliot's shoes. Yeah. He hasn't really had like the success that he probably would have thought he would have had at 14, 13.
Sure.
And if it was me, I'd be like, get the juices flowing. You get your contest juices flowing. You'd be like, okay. You'd have to understand like, okay, I've got to now fund this puppy. That's the hard part. Because I feel like if you cashed up to the wazoo, you just go, yeah, sweet, let's go. Mm-hmm. If it was me, I'd be like, okay, shit, like I've actually got to, go back to work and see if this is even a possible, journey. Yeah. We'd have to put the potty on pause.
Yeah. No, we could do it. We could
probably do it on the road. So I guess, yeah, I think you'd have to give it a bit of a crack.
You go and you touch on the prize money thing. Just this is obviously he's still got a few heats to go here. We're not giving him the win just yet. There's still some really good surfers to get through and
for sure
make some heats. He's looking really good though.
He would have to be a standout. He's put time and effort in.
He has.
He's been going there for years.
Yeah, he's spent some time there, and to win this event, and I'm not sure if this is US or Australian dollars, but generally I think the prize money is in US dollars. Reeve Hazelwood wins Huie and gets about 6,500, which is a pretty nice payday.
Repair.
That's enough to...
That's repair.
That's repair, you reckon? So
I get you a fucking half-eaten bang.
Yeah, look, it's enough prize money to put yourself on a bit of a run and go and chase some events, I feel.
Yeah.
It's also a lot of money if you live in Indonesia and you want to just kick back and enjoy the sunsets, so...
Yeah.
I mean,
$6,000 US. You could go to some pretty small island and order cold binnies.
You buy a small island, probably.
Yeah. Satu dingin bintang.
But yeah, just one for you. Just interesting to see what Elliot does here in the wake of this event. Hopefully himself or...
He'd be a full dark horse, but he could definitely do it. So, Elliot, loved the interview, mate. I think it was amazing that you said what needed to be said. Potentially in a scary country to say it.
A very, very questionable country to be saying stuff like that
Chappelle would think otherwise of your interview, but I fucking loved it. Well done, son, and good luck. Keep going.
Yep.
We need to catch up for a beer when you're back.
And hopefully, like say, who we got left in it of our friends of the show, we'll call it. We've got Elliot and we've got Lennox Smith. I've done them dirty here as well. This is actually, that was the quarterfinals that they just come out of. So
right, they're in the semis.
They're in the semis.
What's the semis?
We've got Elliot Prada Reid versus local Indonesian. He's not local to Nias, but he's an Indonesian fella. Dylan Wilcoxon, who's very, very impressive.
I think he spends a lot of time out of Kendui, Mentawai kind of zone.
Pretty
young.
He's very young, but he's just groomed. You're surfing those waves every day. It's probably not the most difficult thing to get really good at surfing, if that makes sense. You saw what you're doing. So yeah, he's put himself right in the mix, and that's a very tough semi for Elliot. Dylan actually got a 9 and an 8.5 in his quarterfinal. So
that's a good matchup, though. Like, they're both so good at getting tubed.
If it's pitting, it's just going to be whoever's put themselves on the best wave, because they're both going to make them. It's just
both rippy too.
Both rip cow.
I'm going to have to give the nod to Elliot.
I've got it. I'm going to too. Elliot.
I'd almost put 10 on the nose.
Yeah, righto.
I don't have $10 to spend, but yeah.
That's okay. We won't make any more bets.
Metaphorically, 10 on the nose.
And then the other semi is Teddy Dag Bill, who I don't actually know. I've never really seen surf, but he's found himself in the semi-finals here, so he must be doing okay. I haven't really tuned into many of his heats, but he's got our guy Lennox Smith, and I think Lennox Smith is going to put the cleaners through him. Do you agree? Without seeing him surf? Even on one leg.
No, that'll be a heat.
It'll be a heat, but I'm going to just go right out Lennox.
They're both bong boys.
Oh, they are. Well, probably not. You're not the right guy to ask here. Lennox, I'm on your train here, so let's ride it home. But yeah, couple cracking semi-finals.
That'll be hard though, because he's Indo.
Who is?
Teddy. We lives there.
Well, that's not an Indonesian flag, mate. I don't know what that is. That's like
Swedish or something.
No, it's blue with a yellow cross.
Swedish. Yeah.
So
he lives in Indo.
Right.
He moved there when he was really young.
Okay.
Yep.
Couple tough matchups.
Same as like the Kian thing. Kian Martin.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we get an Elliot Lennox final, and they're sinking a few bin tanks.
But we got a bong in the final.
Well, you've definitely got a bong in the final.
Definitely got a bong in the final.
And you could have two if Elliot makes it. So there you go. Might be.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was great.
But anyway, moving on from... Actually, no, let's not move on. We've got a listener question here. So we've touched on this before. Why isn't there a CT in Indo?
Well, it used to be.
There used to be, kind of.
There's two.
They went to Ulus because of...
Three.
Sharks and... What was it? Oh, they had
Karamas,
G-Land, Karamas,
and G-Land,
and Uluwatu. They moved. They obviously did the
William Cardoso won.
William Cardoso won a CT.
Would have been paying 1,000 to 1.
Yeah, it 100% would have. It literally would have been paying. I reckon at least 500 to 1.
If I had a time machine, I'd go back and just put money on that. I wouldn't even
It's better return
put money in crypto. Or anything. I'd just go back to that one.
Just slam that one. Yeah. Why isn't there a CT in Indo, Zach? Do you have any intel on this?
No, I have a educated guess, and it comes down to politics and the costs involved and permits, all the boring shit that a lot of keyboard warriors probably wouldn't even think about, and when they comment on all of WSL stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to run an event. It is really hard.
And you think about G-Land, they got that's probably one of the harder logistical events to run, where they've got to transport a lot of heavy gear through the jungle across boats or whatever. Like, it's not easy to set up. Weirdly, like, it does seem like a point, like, it is basically where all surfers go to have the waves of their life. And other than Hawaii, it's kind of the Mentawais or Indonesia, where you're kind of booking a trip to. And it's like, man, like, surely that, if that's like the mecca of surfing, like the mecca of perfect waves, it makes complete and utter sense to have a CT event there.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows that, and WSL know that, and Indonesian government know that.
Yeah.
There's a roadblock
there. There's got to be.
It would be buried in a fucking PDF.
Yeah. It's not black and white, clearly. Like, we don't have
Otherwise it would happen.
Yeah. We don't have the answer to that, but I think if it could happen, it would happen.
Yeah. There'd be more to it than what it seems on face value.
Absolutely. Now, move from the Indonesian Dream Tour to the WSL.
Oh, Finley.
Just shit show that is Rio.
That was so hard to watch.
It was a tough first day competition.
Not much to talk about for Rio, is there?
There really isn't.
And then it's gone on hold for 3 days.
Yeah, hopefully back on tonight for us, which is Wednesday. Forgot how bad this wave is though, 90% of the time. So
I just can't believe they've got a Pro Junior, a QS, a Challenger, and a CT event there.
they've got every tier.
Brazil
of competition.
has thousands of kilometers of fucking coastline.
Yeah.
There has to be somewhere else. You're better off just going to Rio. At least it'd be like fun.
Just like out in front of one of the beaches there. Yeah, yeah. Well, they used to.
Uber Tubos.
Yeah, they've moved it here, and it does. It's probably a better quality wave when it's good, but
It's just backwash city.
The way the beaches are shaped there, they kind of have these massive, like, sort of concave entries
steep.
to the water.
They're
They're very
real steep.
steep water access, and
Yeah.
it just creates, especially on like a higher tide when the water's coming up and filling back out, it just creates a backwash effect. And you can see on all of the waves, they like jacking up and then like settling back down again. And it looks an absolute nightmare to surf. It does, I guess, challenge the guys to surf waves
but
other than...
when I think let's challenge our surfers, I'm the head of WSL right now. I'm going to Cloudbreak. I'm going to Chopes. That's challenging.
Yeah.
Surfing a joggly piece of shit wave is just, it's challenging, yes, but there's no reward out of the challenge. It's like we saw a cutback and a snap and a blowtail and an air reverse. Like,
Yeah. No, then
get rid of the joint.
they've got that really perfect right-hander on the other side of that beach, but it just doesn't get good very often. We sometimes get lucky and get a few heats run out there.
Yeah.
But look, it's looking like a Sakurama shitfest for the rest of this event, and unfortunately, like we don't really have much to touch on from day one. There's a couple of standouts. I think the highest heat total we saw was about 13.5.
Yep. There's only one person that's a standout for
that
me.
was Leo.
And Leo was the only one that looked like he could actually put one of two of his rails in the water too much and boggle.
Yeah.
It was just boggle and fall off city for the whole field.
Yeah.
Which, there's a bit of solace in that if you're an athlete because, if Philippe looked like that and, Griff looked like that, Canoa looked like that. Canoa almost had a few little bits of wobbles and whatnot. Then it gives you a bit of solace in thinking, okay, maybe it's not me. I'm not going to go burn all my surfboards.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go do 1,000 hours at the HPC and with the camera. You'd have to think that's the wave.
That's the wave. And look, back to this is my theory, and it seems to just ring true every time we get challenging waves. Leo Fioranti is just the guy when it comes to challenging conditions, and he just always seems to make it work, doesn't he? It's insane.
100%.
He's just really great wave selection and sort of not afraid to do it dirty as well. Like he's not afraid to grind one out all the way to the shore. Not that he really had to in his heat because he just picked the best waves and smashed them, and they had no option but to didn't give him
It
amazing
just looked clean.
scores. It was just clean surfing.
On a day where nothing was clean, Leo looked clean.
He stood out. Another one for me, obviously you've only got Leo. I've got a couple here. Cole Houshman.
Sorry. Great. Yeah, it just came to me. As soon as you said Cole, I went Cole.
Yeah.
Cole did do those couple of nice left turns and blew the fins out.
Yeah. So
Looked pretty comfortable.
If you're like me and you've been watching the QS for a while, Jacob Wilcox and Cole Houshman had a final at Narrabeen, I believe. There was a QS, or it was a Challenger Series event, or a QS 10,000, whatever it was back then. I'm just going to
Jesus Pro AM?
No, it was
Chico Roll Pro.
the GWM Sydney Pro. Okay. So I'm guessing this is Narrabeen. They had a heat there, a final there actually, and both standouts for that event. But this wave is reminding me so much of the conditions.
Yes.
Quite tall, like fairly tall, sort of. Narrabeen's actually better, a far better wave.
100%.
But Cole kind of is translating his surfing very similarly to like he did from that event. Very just strong, polished, pushing through these difficult sections that we're sort of talking about. He's not just nursing them; he's actually going through them. He's going to be tough to beat, especially if there's some size and the left continues, which it tends to do there. It is a bit of a left-hander there. There's a right that goes into a deep section. To be fair, it's quite similar to Narrabeen in that regard, where you have like sort of an alley right section. Not to discredit anything from Narrabeen because it is a far better wave than this, but
but it doesn't have a 4 foot left marching across that shitty island.
Yeah, fully. Well,
Did you see Philippe's wave today? Not like it was Monday, so it was 2 days ago. When he did that chop off, there was a fucking breaking wave coming at him.
He just
Where did that come from?
He just ran over it. But yeah, Cole looking very, very good too. So we'll give him a wrap there. And then on the ladies' side, Pickles just doing what Pickles does and hitting bid sections and getting decent scores. And Tatiana, who's just sort of emerged again from the woodwork.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, she's done a Zach Instagram sabbatical and
works
in the way of a
I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, clearly
with vengeance.
it's worked for her because she came out swinging and she got a really decent first heat out. Found herself straight into the round or the quarters. I think now it is for the ladies. If you win your round one heat, you go straight through the quarters. And so did Pickles. So
I thought Luana looked pretty composed. I don't think she surfed out of her skin, but she looked pretty composed against Katie. That'd be a nightmare of head noise heat.
Well, she beat Katie right in the elimination round. Yeah. That's what we're going to get to next. So it was more the disappointments from this day that were more notable because there wasn't much to really comment on from people that.
It's hard to call them disappointments though because there's so many.
It's very, very harsh as well because the waves are so challenging.
They were so bad.
Yeah, look, we've got from the men's side just one, and there was people that surf worse than this man throughout the event so far, but we've just held him to such a high regard that when he does look a bit off, it is quite noticeable. And the last few events for Ethan Ewing have been tough. Not surfing bad by any means. He looked really good at trestles. He's been coming up against some really informed opponents and probably not doing his best surfing. Looked a little bit out of sorts again on day one in Rio. And yeah, look, he's still got the elimination round to find a bit of spark again. So hopefully he can make a few here, but I'd reckon, to be fair, he's probably got half an eye on the next event at J-Bay. I think he'd be just rubbing.
It's not all bad news for Ethan though. Mate, there's young love in the air.
Yeah, there's love in the air. He's found himself a little girlfriend on the ladies' side.
You keep saying little in front of things, and I feel like I heard you say little girlfriend, and
he's literally
that one. You can't say little girlfriend.
He's literally older than me too, which is concerning.
Well, she's not older than you.
No, but he is.
Yeah. So Ethan's dating fellow tour member Sawyer Lindblad.
Yep, we're not breaking anything. This isn't new ground here.
Yeah,
they went with a hard launch on Instagram recently, so they're Instagram officials. Zach, you would have missed this because you haven't been on there.
No, I was on there for that.
Oh, you saw the launch?
Yeah,
cool.
Yep. But so Ethan and Sawyer Lindblad seem to be in a relationship, which good on them. Like,
so hang on. So you wouldn't be proposing that potentially she's the cause of this string of poor results? Is that what you're saying?
No, fuck no.
No, okay.
Because he's not surfing bad. I just think when you're surfing 10 out of 10, surely.
Yeah,
there has to be a dip in performance. You can't say
Slater
didn't do it.
You can't redline forever. You gotta come back to the pack.
If you redline forever, it blows up.
Yeah,
it's probably healthy to have a slight dip in decline in performance. So
just time is run right for the.
And honestly, I don't think it's a dip that I would be worried.
It's really
for
not.
Ethan.
He knows he's gonna go.
It's
to
him against himself, Finley. He's that fucking good that. When he has a normal day, everyone's like, "Oh, Ethan's surfing so bad." It's like, "Fuck me, give him a break."
And I'm being really critical here because he wasn't the worst surfer in the event. You know, it just because he's such a high standard always, you do notice when he's a little bit off. And
I thought Philippe was.
Philippe,
I'm sorry,
he was off, but he still won his heat. So I guess you got to give him something there. In terms of the ladies, couple shockers here. So Gabriella Bryan, aka current world number one yellow jersey wearer, gets knocked by a surfer I genuinely haven't heard of, which is really saying something for me because I've heard of a lot of surfers.
You have Wikipedia'd everyone.
I know some very obscure names, and she was not one of them.
Aristabe?
Shout out to Irina Rodriguez.
Brazilian.
There's no, clearly, but no, she's actually not. I think she's Argentinian. Well, she's got an Argentinian flag.
I just heard Rodriguez and thought South American.
But shout out to her, Irina Rodriguez, for doing a number here on not only Gabby, but fantasy teams worldwide.
I didn't pick Gabby. So
I didn't either.
Sweet.
But plenty of people did. Who I did pick, though, was Katie Simmers in my tier A, and she lost in the...
I picked Katie and Luana.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was fucked before they paddled out.
I did too. So,
but Luana, would I get more points?
Yeah, well, I stupidly, and I said I was going to, I forgot to. I was meant to put the ×2 on Erin Brooks, and I left it on my tier A, forgot to take it off her. So I lost my tier A to Luana Silva in round 2.
Yeah, suck a big boiled egg, mate.
So you could actually effectively beat me here. If you don't, it's a worry. Yeah, Luana gets the chockies there. Yeah. So really good for Luana. Really good confidence boost for her. And yeah, look, that's really all we've got to comment on from.
There's not much kicking in Rio right now.
Nah, the only thing I will say,
I reckon there's a bunch of STDs kicking around. That joint looks like the best time. Not saying I want one, but just saying like
you want what?
Nothing. They've actually, fun fact for everyone, they've moved away from STDs. It's STIs now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you said it. You're the one that said it, mate.
They're
no one
infections,
else said
not disease now.
Right.
No, it just looks like a great event. Like, how shit were the waves on day one, right?
It was horrific.
There was more people on the beach than there was at any other event on the CT.
Yeah.
And they're just getting around it. I saw they had like a drone footage from a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And it was in the afternoon. The stage was going off. They got bands playing. Would have been 50,000 people on the beach. It just looks like a fun time.
Yeah, it looks.
I just hope the CT guys get to actually like go, you know what? Comp's not going to run for 2 days. I'm getting down there. I'm in the nosebleed section to some local jazz band. I don't know.
I'm sure they would. We got people in the know. We can ask that. But yeah, those couple shockers that we did touch on, they do leave the door right open for my little superstar, Erin Brooks.
Little again.
She is little though.
She's tiny.
She's tiny. So
Proceed
I think
with
we
caution.
can continue with that one. This is her event to lose for me. I just think she's right. She's primed. It's a left. It's a fast wave. She's the fastest surfer on tour. Katie Simmers already lost. Gabrielle O'Brien already lost.
You just named all the tour though. No one left.
Pretty well.
How did it get to this stage?
They just because they that's why I guess they're doing the extended tour next year so they don't lose so many surfers, and they're actually adding a couple of lady surfers, which is cool. So there's going to be a few more next year.
Yeah.
The only real thing I guess we can do here is just to almost top this one off because we've pretty well covered everything that's happened this week.
Sure.
Actually, no. You know what? We've got Bolito. There's not much because we're so far out. The way it's worked out though is that by the time we record next week, the event will have started. So we're fair ways out, but we're going to just do some little picks. We might even pause and come back to you with some picks after. But what I do want to do is just run through the elimination round of the men's.
Yep.
So
rapid fire me.
We'll just rapid fire. I want you to pick who's going to win these heats.
Mm-hmm.
So, he won. Geordie Smith, Gabrielle Klausner.
Fuck. They both... Gabrielle looked good for a wild card in his first heat. Geordie looked woeful.
He looked bad. And this...
I think Geordie's going to get that. It'll be a scrappy, shitty heat we don't know what the waves are like, but if the waves are similar to day one, then I think he's just going to muscle through it.
Definitely. And just as like... The conditions are the biggest factor here. This isn't like we're not going, Gabrielle Klausner's going to beat Geordie because...
Pretty young too.
He's young, but like we're not going, he's going to beat him because like he just surfs better than him. Obviously, Zach's gone Geordie anyway, but it's just the conditions are such a huge factor at this event. So if we pick someone that you go, it's probably doesn't sound right. It's because it's just how bad this wave is. It kind of favours anyone. And the next heat is one that is going to be really tough. Ethan Ewing and Marco Mignot.
Well, why'd you ask me?
Who are you going to pick?
Ethan.
Yeah, but man, I don't know if it's... I guess you don't have to, but Marco's going to be real...
If you just... This is episode 26, correct me wrong. If you go back through 25 episodes, I think you don't have to be a genius to figure out my opinion.
You haven't had the greatest rap on
He's
Marco.
He's proven me wrong, and really, I find that admirable, and fucking I'd love to shake his hand and go, you proved me wrong, well done. But I've just got my
I think this one's not as cut and dry as you just said. I would not be surprised to see an upset here. I think
he'll go to the air.
He's going to take to the
skies. If he doesn't go to the air, that would be a stupid move.
It's a mistake for him. Because
even if it's howling offshore or like howling wrong wind, he has to go to the air.
You're not going to beat Ethan on rail, so he's got to go to the air, and I think he will. He's got such a high strike rate.
He's going to go to the air, but Ethan will win. Next.
Okay. Heat 3, Iago Dora, Pedersen, Crisanto. Pretty straightforward, I think, this one. Iago. Heat 4, Jack Robinson, Rio Wader.
Oh, man, I'm going to go Rio.
There's some cracking heats here, eh? I'm going Rio too.
Fuck, for elimination. That's crazy.
I think Rio's going to dust him. Rio's backhand is incredible. Growing up in Uluwatu.
But it is a right as well.
It's a right, but it's...
I would almost say it's... Off day one, it was 50-50.
It was 50, but you can see that the right goes into that choppy inside section, whereas the left, it seems to run in across the bank a little bit more.
For sure.
Heat 5, Kanoa and Alejo.
Kanoa.
I agree. Heat 6, this is another tough one. Griffin and Jiao.
Griff.
the Jiao versus Griffin in Heat 1, he actually beat him. Griff looked troubled, but man on man sort of levels it out a little bit. Heat 7, Baron and Seth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, that's a toss of the coin for me. I don't really care to comment on that one. That's just whoever's gonna put himself on a better wave, I think, wins that one, because they're probably around the same to me, same level.
But if Baron doesn't, I think I put my mathematical hat on, which is not a good looking hat, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to plummet down the rankings.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it's an elimination round, so it's going to be some...
It'll be his worst result.
It's going to be some competitors nipping at his heels coming out of this one. Mm. And then Heat 8, we all know the answer to this one, but I'll read it out anyway. Jake Marshall and Connor O'Leary.
Oh, the two surfers, what are they called? Surfers aids?
Oh, the like surfers reps or whatever.
Surfers reps. Man,
I find, and I don't know if I'm tripping out.
That'd be a good heat.
Do they verse each? I feel like these guys verse each other a lot. I know Seth and Baron do. I've definitely seen a few Seth Baron heats this year.
Well, based upon seeding, if they stick together, then, or if they stay in the same seeding throughout the year, then mathematically they have to verse each other a bit.
True. Yeah, I guess. And then on the ladies' side of things, we'll go for the bracket stage. Mm-hmm. So this is quarterfinals. Caroline Marks, Tatiana Weston Webb.
Taddy. I think Taddy could win this.
I do too. She's probably the biggest threat.
And then her head is just all over the place. Like, okay, should I have taken off half the year?
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, could I be challenging for a world title right now?
Yep.
So Taddy.
Well, no, she's off tour.
No, but like if she did the whole year, could she have been challenging?
Yeah, yep.
Heat 2, Tyler and Luana.
I'm
going to go Luana too. Tyler looked pretty shocking on day 1. Heat 3, Picklum, Rodriguez. Picklum will get that done. I don't think she'll...
I think the...
Arena's had a good run up to this stage.
She's done her job. She just beat the best in the world. You see it so often.
Yeah.
They come out swinging. Jacob Wilcox beats Kelly Slater, Portugal.
Yeah.
Didn't win the event.
Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky. I'm not saying she got lucky. She obviously had to surf a heat. She did progress with a couple 4.5s. Gabby just obviously had a meltdown. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's going to get past Pickles with a couple 4.5s, unfortunately. And Heat 4, which bizarrely, and I don't know how this is even a question now, could be a bit of a challenging one. Erin Brooks and Lakey Peterson, Lakey's just come out of nowhere and started... She seems like she's surfing 1,000% better than she was in previous years. I don't know what's been going on there. I don't know what she's been eating, but it's working for her. But
it's not going to matter because Erin's going to get the dub.
Erin's getting the dub. She's going to progress to the semi-finals and then go on and win the event. So that's our picks. All right, and we've just had a little bit of we've come back to you now. We just had a little bit of look at the draw for Bolito, the upcoming Challenger Series event, and we've kind of gone through the rankings and we've picked 3 guys each who we think a few guys to watch out for in this event.
Yep.
Who have you gone with?
I've gone with Morgs.
Yep.
And I've gone with Sammy Pupo.
Mm-hmm.
And I've thrown in a dark horse, Jarvis Earl.
I like it. Yeah. It's Jarvis is online at the moment, and Bolito is a right-hander, but when it's small and junky, as we've seen in previous years, I think especially last year, had Nolan Raposa going nuts on a few lefts. We had, I think, David Silva won the event, one of those guys, or Ian Gavea, one of those guys actually took it out going left. So there is potential for him to, not saying his backhand's weak at all, but his frontside air game's really, really good.
I was honestly thinking backhand.
Yeah, and
my mind didn't even go there.
His backhand's incredible. Yep. So it's a really good pick. I'm going to go with, so I've also done Morgs. Seems like an event that Morgs can do well. It's often tricky. And he's almost like a Leo type, I find, where he can just get it done in tricky waves. Throws a lot of water.
Well, he's got a bone to pick. He got an interference in a heat that he otherwise would have made.
Yeah, he in the
unfinished business.
Last Challenger Series event, a fair way into the draw too, not early rounds, like quarterfinals or so. He got an interference which removed him from the draw, cost him some really valuable points. He's going to be fanging to get a result here. I think he will. I've got Matthias Hurdy. I think he's going to be right there when the whips are cracking at the end of the event. And my third one, if the waves are decent, which we're not sure yet, we have no idea of a forecast, but I'm going to, even if they're not really, Liam O'Brien. I think this is an event where Lob can really just skyrocket himself back up the rankings and get himself within qualification range.
He's in need.
He's really in need because we could be facing a scenario where someone with the quality of Lob is battling it out on the Challenger next year, you know. And if this isn't it's not like a free entry to the Challenger. If you don't finish within that top 20, you find yourself back on the regional QS. So if he doesn't finish top 20 this year, he's going to be duking it out in Huie and Nias with everyone else and bloody Cabaret to Beach Break.
That's a hard pill to swallow. Slipping through 2 tours.
Seriously, going from the World Tour, falling off the Chang'an, and then onto the regional QS is just really bitter pill to swallow. So I think this is going to be. I hope that this is going to be a really good event for Lob and get him going. He's a bit of not a great start. Probably not the start he would have been after for himself. So he's going to have to make up for it in this back end. But I think he's more than capable.
Give us one female surfer.
Oh, one female. Look, I'm probably Tia Zabrowski. I think for me, she's just gonna do a demolition on this tour this year. I think very likely to qualify. She's one. I'd also really like to see a bit of a rebound from Sierra Kerr. I think she had an absolute. She lost in the very first round at Newcastle, so she'd be spewing on that. Her dad completely waxed her in terms of result on a twin fin, mind you. I think she'll be frothing at the bit to go and get a result here. What about yourself?
I'm going Ellie Harrison.
Cool. Yeah, like it. After the robbery that was Newcastle, I won't take you back there. I know you've been having a bit of trauma from that.
Yolanda walked into a bank and just took all the jewels and money from the safe.
Didn't even have a mask on, bro. She just waltzed
Cameras
in there,
on.
Cameras on. She took a selfie while she was in there.
Yep.
Took all the jewels
and
out.
again, Yolanda, I highly doubt you're listening, but if you are, not your fault.
No, good on you. Got to get a bit of luck.
Yeah, if I could rob a bank and walk out with, all the money and not have the ramifications to follow, I would too.
But yeah, that's kind of really, guys, all we've got for you this week. I think probably around the hour mark, I reckon we got it up to. So.
Standard, but I just want to round it off, Finley, by saying again a big thank you to the guys at Huie's. Keeps our voice box well lubricated through the pod, because when we do talk for an hour, you get that little at the end.
You do.
And so now we've got a healthy stack of beers that we can drink throughout the potty. It's a perfect partnership.
It is, mate. It really is. Thanks again for listening, guys. Thanks to Huie. Stay tuned for some other hopeful announcements in the next couple of weeks, and we will be doing the draw for this prize pack within the next 20 minutes. So
about $1,500 worth is going to one lucky follower. And the best part, Finley, they don't have to do all that cringeworthy stuff. All you had to do is just follow. We didn't make it that you had to jump, skip, and hop to get this.
Yeah.
One lucky winner is just probably going to wake up on Monday morning, check their Instagram after 3 days, and go, "Holy shit! I won $1,500 worth of shit."
Yeah.
Bingo. That's all it takes.
Bingo. But yeah, thanks again for listening, guys. We'll
thank you.
We'll tune out now, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Adios.
Bosh.